All right. Hello and welcome, everybody. I am here with Megan Nolan. How are you today, Megan?
So good. Thank you. Great to be here.
Awesome. I am doing reasonably well, but I just said to Megan before we went live, is like, I'm in a bit of a weird mood. And I have been a little grumpy this morning. So you may just get the more sort of smart ass Jade more than normal. So I'll apologize in advance.
Okay. I'm game.
All right, awesome. Okay, gang. So here's the deal. You are at the JVology Show, and the JVology Show is a program that is hosted primarily by me, occasionally by Krista and a couple of other folks around here. But what this is this is a way in which we feature community members for JVology, the perfect mix of people, fun, and profit. And what JVology is we are a joint venture community that helps entrepreneurs redesign their business so that they get a steady stream of perfectly qualified leads for free at the front end of their business, recurring passive income at the back end of their business through doing win-win-win collaborations in joint ventures that serve our clients better. So we do that in lots of different ways. Conversations with brilliant people like Megan, which you're going to hear momentarily. We have live events at the end of the month. We have JVology Live, which happens about 4 times a year, a 3-day event that frankly transforms your life, puts you in front of a couple of hundred other joint venture partners and entrepreneurs, and teaches you how to do this thing and make entrepreneurship a hell of a lot more fun and easy. Well, actually, let's use the phrase. Make it the perfect mix of people, fun, and profit. And we also do all sorts of things like coaching, consulting, done-for-you services, year-long programs like Flow and Sail, summits for high-end sort of JV partners that's happening out in Kananaskis at the end of the month. Based on the new Alberta regulations, it appears we'll all be wearing bubble suits in our separate rooms, but we'll figure out how the hell that is going to go. So on that note, gang, we share these things all over God's green earth. And what that means is you may not be watching from the broadcast page. So to make sure you're watching from the broadcast page, either click on the video or the little button just above it. It'll take you to the broadcast page. And then you can come over here and you can make comments. You can say hello. You can ask questions of Megan as she gets into perhaps one of the most important things under the sun. Deidre, how are you? Good to see you. One of the most important things under the sun, which is taking care of your most important business asset, which is, of course, you. So before we dive into that, I'm going to play a couple of little videos about our brand, simply because I like them. And then we are going to dive in and come back and find out more about Megan. Are you ready, set, Megan?
Ready.
Awesome. And I always like to end it with our Better Together little tagline, because that is one of our core beliefs, is that we are better together. And that is the reason why we're having this conversation with Megan. So Megan, welcome. Thank you for being here. I truly appreciate it.
Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right. So let's start with the 5,000-foot view of who you are, who you serve, what you're up to in the world.
Okay, so I serve purpose-driven, health-conscious female entrepreneurs by helping them go from being overwhelmed and exhausted to energized and empowered. I do this by helping them prioritize their health and happiness, taking it off the back burner and making it a go-to activity, because it really is an essential activity in our business strategy. You need to feel good in order to show up and do your best. So that's what I love to do.
Yes. On that note, occasionally my team and my wife would just say, go for a run. You're too damn grumpy. So I'll go for a run, because it is exactly what is necessary in terms of clearing. Okay, so tell us a little bit about your background and your history and how you came to this, because this is not your first canoe trip in this topic or in this domain.
No, it's not. So much to my parents' confusion, after I graduated from the University of Guelph, so I'm originally from Ontario, Canada, I graduated. I graduated by studying gerontology, which is the study of aging. So after I graduated, I said, I cannot do this. I am far too sensitive, far too empathetic. So I decided to move to Hawaii and become a personal trainer.
If you're going to do it, that's a good spot to do it in.
Yeah, I figured. And it was a more preventative approach. I've always loved exercise and movement. And so exercise is quite literally one of the fountains of youth, right? Cellular rejuvenation, stress reduction, all the good things that come from moving your body and keeping it strong and healthy. So I started as a personal trainer, and then a little bit after, I decided to complement that by becoming a yoga instructor. So my work, I like to weave together both those modalities because they both have amazing benefits, but they have some missing pieces. And when you bring them together, it's a beautiful complement. So over the last few years, I've lived on Maui for 10 years now. I've been focusing on workplace wellness. And pre-pandemic, I was working with the county of Maui, the hospital, and Maui Electric. I've taught yoga inside all the power plants, a variety of financial institutions. And then, of course, that changed significantly last March, right?
Yes.
And so then I shifted gears a little bit and really decided, okay, well, we still need to stay healthy. We really need to focus on it now specifically. And so I sort of shifted gears and started to
arguably
focus
more now than sorry to interrupt you, but I just want to underscore what you just said, because I think it's important for people taking action at the end of this. Arguably more now than ever in most of our lifetimes. True or not true from your perspective?
Very true. Very true.
Okay, so gang, here's the thing, and I just want to frame what Megan was talking about. I think lots of folks who don't already have the routines in place, don't already have the habit in place, are still at a spot of dismissing it as nice but not necessary. And I just really would love each of you to sort of shift your head, your heart, your hearing to, at this moment in time, this conversation is perhaps the most important conversation on planet Earth. And it is not, we don't have the luxury or the convenience of going, yeah, later, or when I have more time, or when my business is better. That's like, that shit needs to stop like now. So anyway, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to underscore and contextualize. Please continue. So
no, I agree 100%. And thank you for really pinpointing that, because it is true. It was something that we often put off as a luxury. Oh, I'll do it later. You know, when I get to this, that, and the other thing, yeah, I'll do it later. But the pandemic has made it more obvious that we need to be taking care of this on a regular basis for managing the stress, the ups and downs of life, keeping your immune system strong, keeping your body strong and healthy, better sleep, better interactions with your family members, right? Because we all get grumpy if we're not moving our body enough. So those are all amazing benefits that come from keeping yourself healthy. And so that was really became very obvious to me. And I decided, you know, I'm going to shift gears a little bit and sort of be an offsite wellness department for a variety of businesses, ranging from a team of one to a team of hundreds, right? And so it's been a really fun way to share these tools that really does help somebody in the moment to feel better, but has a beautiful ripple and lasting effect.
Awesome. So how has that transition gone? Because it's interesting to me, because it seems on the one hand, it's like there's two ends of the pendulum. It's like this circumstance or this situation we're living in has created in many cases, a health dedication. And, you know, like between, you know, Corey and I, since the start, I mean, we've lost about 60 pounds. We've had more time. I'm not on plane change. It's been actually really good health-wise for us. But I also know that, you know, I've talked to people who've, these are the exact words. Well, I've put on the pandemic. I put on the pandemic 30, and it's like, it's not even like, anyway, so it seems like it's really there doesn't seem to be much middle ground about it.
No, I agree. I think it's really highlighted people's habitual patterns that they already had. You know, if you were an avid exerciser, mover, stretcher, all those things, you had more time. So you kind of leaned into that a little bit more. Whereas if you weren't so much in that habit, you may have dabbled into it and not got into the consistency. And then it was like, never mind. I'll just lay on the couch and continue to eat. So I agree with you. There's sort of two sides to the spectrum, as we see with so much division as there is. So this is another example of that for sure.
I was having that thought. So tell me how the transition has been for you. So you're in, you know, the county of Maui, you're all over the place doing these things live and in person, and then not anymore. so how is that transition for you? And I'm asking both personally and professionally in terms of navigating the way.
Well, luckily, I already had an online presence. I have a program called Yoga at My Desk, which was already in existence. And so thankfully, I was already sort of in the Kajabi mode, familiar with doing the online stuff, and so was a bit ahead of the curve. And so initially, there was definitely a pause, and a lot of my people that I work with were a little bit like, oh, I don't know how to do this Zoom tech thing. Blah, blah, blah. No, let's wait. And then they got bored and antsy and they're like, please, just whatever, show me how to do it and we'll figure it out. And so now I'm able to connect with businesses. You know, I've connected with people on the mainland as well as in Canada, here locally on Maui. And so luckily, you know, through the magic of the internet, we're able to stay connected. We all are, right? But it was an interesting transition at first. And I definitely was also in that sort of, what do I do? And was really had a huge halt to some major contracts. And then I had to get creative. And so it allowed me the opportunity to bring to life some programs that I had sort of backburnered and now have subsequently really brought to life. So it's been a great experience overall.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I'm sorry. I'm just imagining. So all of the Zoom meetings we've done where there's always somebody who's trying to talk and is muted. Oh, yeah. I'm just imagining with yoga at your desk, the contortions that they're in trying to get the mute button off.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's been funny. I mean, you know, you get the whole like, oh, the dog's trying to get in on it and there's cats and all the things. And it's a fun experience. You just have to take it like anything and take a lighthearted approach to it.
Yeah. I totally love that. Okay, so tell us a little bit about, well, and I know that you've got a complimentary little piece for folks, but talk to me just a little bit more about the Yoga at Your Desk program, because that sounds like really fascinating and cool in terms of, I think one of the drawbacks of the pandemic is that we're all spending more time sitting in our damn chair, and that ain't good. I fervently believe sitting is killing us in many, many ways. So just talk to me a little bit about that.
To your point, sitting is a major health risk. It's associated with a lot of health problems, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, weight gain around the midsection. It's a high risk for diabetes, depression, anxiety, insomnia. So yes, you're right. Sitting is
stand up while you continue on.
Squeeze your bum while you're at it, because that's what happens. Go to sleep. So yeah, literally when we sit down, everything goes and we slouch. And I affectionately call it the ouchy slouchy posture, which we yeah, there you go. I have that effect on people.
I'm just being a smart ass, but please continue, because I fervently believe, and I mean, I don't want to make light of this. I'm trying to just really, be straight and authentic about, how do I say it, is that we have to figure out ways to break the patterns that is far too easy to fall into when we're not going to a meeting, when we're not meeting somebody for lunch, when we're like all of the things that used to have me up and down and in and out of my chair probably 100 times a day. And that wouldn't be an exaggeration. That if I don't consciously interject and say, now I'm got to take the dog to the park. Like if I don't come up with a reason to do something, honest to God, that could get cut down to, 10 times as going to the bathroom and filling coffee. And that's not enough. Anyway, so I don't want to make light of it, but I do want to really be clear that, man, that's a real issue for us if we don't get deliberate and conscious about it.
Absolutely. And the thing is, with a lot of health situations, people will wait until there's a real severe problem to start to do something about it, right? And it's like, it happens in so many things. But what I really love to do and what I love to help people with is getting into that initial routine. So there's so much amazing research that shows us that if you do something first thing in the day, not only does it affect your productivity because you've oxygenated your brain, you've energized your muscles, so you're not in the ouchy slouchy so easily, you actually are more likely to do things that contribute to your health overall throughout the day. Because it's so easy, like you said, it's so easy to literally like get up, walk 10 feet to the kitchen and then walk another however many feet to your office and then back to the bathroom and that's it, right? And so it really is, that's a whole other situation. So that's the idea behind Yoga at My Desk is that we all sit way too much and it's causing a whole ripple of not so good things to our body and to our mental health, physical health, all of that. And so what I've done is I started with 10-minute breaks because I was like, okay, people can take a 10-minute break, right? Yeah. And then I quickly realized that no, they have this like preconceived notion. I don't have 10 minutes. I have so many things to do. Blah, 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 blah. So I have 2-minute breaks. Okay. I have 1-minute breaks because I had to meet people wherever they're at, right? And so it's a whole collection of ranging from 1 minute to 10-minute breaks that are specifically designed to deal with the sitter syndrome. So that's the pain in the back and the pain in the neck, the sleepy booty, all the things that tend to happen when we sit too much.
By the way, I love your naming convention. So like, could we do like one of the 1 minute things? Like, could you actually lead us through it now? Because here's the truth of the matter. The vast majority of people watching are going to be sitting on their ass watching this on Facebook. Like, why don't we just get them up and actually do one? Are you game?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to make you, so just to be clear about this, I'm going to make sure that you are on camera so that, what did you call it? The saggy booty?
Sleeping booty.
The sleeping booty. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure mine's saggy instead of sleeping, but so that my saggy booty isn't there. Okay, you're on. You lead us.
Okay, so believe it or not, I'm standing up. I'm only 5'1", so it's hard to tell. So I would like you to stand up as well. Okay, if you can, if that's available to you. Obviously not if you're driving. So you're going to stand up nice and tall. You're going to engage your belly, and now try to squeeze your sleeping booty. So it's, numb bum tends to happen when we sit too much. So squeeze your bum a little bit. And then let's just start with some easy movements. So rolling your shoulders, make it good. And then maybe make it a little bigger, maybe not. Maybe not. Oh, there we go. Okay, so you might be making the movement bigger. You may not, whatever feels better for your body. And then, so I call this one the Kate Winslet. So remember her at the end of the Titanic and she's at the edge of the boat. So you're gonna squeeze your shoulder blades together, squeeze your legs, squeeze your bum, and lift your chest up and look up and breathe. If anything bothers your body, you can always stop, right? So no pain, no pain. So breathe in, lift your chest up, and then you're gonna give yourself a little hug. So wrap your arms around and give yourself a little hug. Good. Okay, so now take a look at which arm is on top. You're gonna open your arms and then bring that one underneath. Take another breath and breathe. Breathe out. Okay, so if it feels comfortable in both of your shoulders, reach your arms up as high as you can. And remember, if that doesn't feel good, you can go back to the first position with them out to the side. So get as tall as you can. So you're going to squeeze your bum, lift your chest up and look up. Big deep breath. And then bring your arms back down by your sides. Close your eyes. Take another breath. And then let me know how you feel.
You're awesome.
Good.
And I also see that there's a spider making a house on my roof of my office, which I would never have seen had I not done that.
See, yeah, that's one of the beautiful things about yoga is when you get into a position, you're like, oh, look, I don't know how that stuff gets on the ceiling or what's underneath the sofa over here. There's a lot of things that benefit.
That was awesome, Megan. And the thing that always amazes me, let me just get this adjusted. The thing that always amazes me is that it doesn't take much movement to create a physical, mental, emotional, spiritual shift. Like it doesn't need to be, like my favorite thing to like clear is like a 10K run, but it doesn't need to be a 10K run by any stretch of the imagination. It can literally be a moment or two of presence and stretching. So I love that. Love that. Love that. Okay.
Absolutely.
So talk to us about the tool and the resource that you have to support us to make and to take these breaks.
Beautiful. So what I have to share is a very simple 3-step morning routine that you can do. So this is based on my methodology that I teach that's called the elevation method. So remember that I work specifically with entrepreneurs, which thankfully enough is this beautiful community. So what we're going to do, the first thing that we do is connect to your big vision, because that is so important, right? That you have that at the forefront of your mind and your heart. So you're able to tap into that energy now. The next step is to embody it, because we all know the be, do, have model and we think, okay, I got to be that version now, but sometimes it just feels like a costume that you're wearing. So I take you through a couple steps like we just did here to activate that energy, to engage yourself so that you're carrying yourself in that confident, centered, charismatic way, not the ouchy slouchy, oh, maybe I'll get to it later posture. And then the third step is to take some actions from that place. So it's a very simple 3-step morning ritual. You can expand it as big as you want, but we start with 5 minutes. So I take you through it, just a 5-minute ritual for you to get started in your day, energize your muscles, activate your brain, all the good things, and then move forward from that. So it's a really easy, but very powerful little morning thing that you can do. So I'm happy to share that.
I love that. I'm just getting the window open here as well so people can see what they're going to do. So gang, what you're going to do is this. Go and click on the button that's in the chat. When you click on the button that's in the chat, it's going to take you to this page here, and you simply put your name, your email in, and Megan will send it to you directly. And I want to be really clear about something that I think is an important component that builds a real, oh, that's not what I was trying to do. that builds a really powerful tool is that taking action from an aligned place. That is so underestimated in our life and in our world, in my humble opinion, which is we've got a bunch of people who are busy, often doing a bunch of shit that really doesn't matter, in the thick of what I will call thin things. But a moment or two of alignment to mission and purpose and intentional action is one of the most powerful muscles that can be built in the universe. So this is not just the physical, this is the entire combination, physical, mental, emotional, to get ourselves aligned and moving forward with power. So I love that, love that.
Thank you. I totally agree, because that's it. We have all these things that we feel like we need to get done, and we can get caught in that hustle bustle of overwhelm, and that leads us to feeling exhausted and drained. Whereas if you're intentional about taking this little glimpse of time, and like I said, it can be literally like a minute long or longer if you have that, and really getting aligned. So the cool thing about yoga and the way that I teach you is that you are aligning your body for confidence and strength. You're aligning your heart for purpose and passion, and you're aligning your mind for inspiration and focus, all at one time. All at one time.
Well, and you know, I mean, it goes back to this idea. Like if we think about a ton of the messages that we do our very best to share at JVology. And by the way, I see that we just posted the link. If any of you are interested in what JVology does and our upcoming event, there's a link in the chat as well for JVology Live. But one of the key pieces that we're after is leverage. Is that is there a way to do one thing and for it to feed and to fuel 3, 4, 5, 6 different areas of our life, of our body, of our spirit, of our business, of our bank account, of our... So this to me fits absolutely 100% perfectly in that process. I deeply, deeply appreciate that. All right, on that note then, I want to restate and recap, which is this. Megan is brilliant in this space. She was fast and smart at the beginning of this entire pandemic and COVID thing to translate this very in-person business into something that is online. And by the way, that speaks to her, well, I'm going to say flexibility, and in yoga that might sound kind of silly, but her flexibility, not just in terms of body, but in terms of mind, but in terms of solving problems, in terms of service to her clients, in terms of all of those pieces. And the reality is this. There is always a way for us to navigate if we are in the space, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, to actually find it. So she's the one you want to learn from. Make sure that you go, and let me put this up as well. Make sure you go over to her link. It is right there. I'll show it here just so you can see it's this link right here where it says Get Megan's Gift. So make sure you go click there, opt in, get the thing done, and above all else, every single time I go through all of this, don't just get it. Use the damn thing. All right, Megan, you have the last word before we tell folks about other JVology deals and wrap her up. Anybody sitting on the fence who knows they should but doesn't want to, but thinks they might not, that like what? Lay on your best inspiration.
Well, I would say that you are absolutely essential in your business. Therefore, it's essential that you make yourself and your health a top priority. Let's talk about it from an ROI perspective. If you're not there and able to do what you do, what's going to happen, right? So even just from that, like clarity of mind, inspiration, presence, charisma, yes, that's obviously very important. But if you're not sleeping well and you start to get insomnia, and then you're having anxiety and you're kind of sliding down that slippery slope, which is very much common in our community of entrepreneurs, because we're kind of, you know, a little bit out there to begin with. Really taking the time to stay healthy, and whatever form that is, maybe it's yoga, maybe it's exercise, maybe it's running, whatever you like to do, really does pay off now and over the long run. And it's so, so invaluable for you to make that a top priority.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you, my dear, for making time and being with us. Gang, please make sure you go over and get her gift and actually use the darn thing. And for any of you who are still sitting on the fence about should you participate in JVology Live, should you grow and scale your business through joint ventures, should you make your life a hell of a lot easier by getting a whole bunch of free leads that are perfectly qualified, the answer to that question is hell yes. And, and on that note, you can just go on over to JVology Live, that link there. Jump on in. We are quite literally just a week away, and it's going to be awesome and exciting, and there'll be a couple hundred people there who want to serve, support you. So come join us, have fun. Megan, thank you for being here. I truly appreciate it. We will see you soon.
Yes, see you soon. Thank you so much.
You bet. Bye-bye.